Hi folks, hope you guys are doing well as usual. So I'm just going to do a really quick video today on something that happened to the Fiido L3 this week. There's still been no problems, like no real major problems with this bike, and I've done, as of this is my 5th week riding it, and you can see, if the camera will pick it up, 706 miles. Battery still charges up fully, and everything is working on it absolutely fine. There's only I only had one little issue with this bike so far, apart from that horn, which I hopefully should have fixed. Let's see if it's working. Yeah, so there, hopefully the microphone will pick that up, and the horn is working fine. If it doesn't work, I just give it a bit of a shake on the electrics, so there's still a small problem there. But going back to another little problem I had with this is the kickstand. Is, you can see I've put this, it's actually a ribbon. I think it's off a Ferrero Rocher box of chocolates I got at Christmas. I keep all sorts of rubbish. I have a little drawer of odds and ends, and I keep rubber bands, screws, you know, anything that looks like it might be useful. And so I had this in the drawer, and I was actually looking for a rubber band, and I had 2 of them. They were really old, and they actually when I was putting them on, they snapped because the rubber had gotten that old and dried out. So I saw this little ribbon in here, and I thought, well, I can use that for now. So basically what's happened is, in here there's a little bit of the plastic has worn down on the inside of this. So if I take this off, it's not staying up, and yeah, so you have to kind of push it like that, and then it will, so it's got this curve here, and that curve, and that stops it there. So what's happened is this is pushed down, so it's not, for some reason it's moved down. It was working okay, I was just pushing it up, but I kind of got a bit annoyed with it, having to do this all the time. So I put this ribbon on it on Thursday, just to stop it from falling, because when I was actually riding it, it would drop down and then it would scrape on the bottom. You can see there's a little bit of probably wear on there where it's just like hit the ground. That's the only problem. This is probably a really cheap kickstand. I saw them on like something similar on Amazon for, I think, about £8. I didn't want to buy exactly the same one. I tried with a pair of pliers to push this tighter to make it a bit harder to fall down, but it didn't work. So I didn't want to, like I said, you can find them on Amazon, but I didn't want to buy the same one, because I thought it's only lasted me, you know, around about 5 weeks. And if I buy another one for £8 and it lasts about the same amount of time, it's just like a waste of money. So I found a metal one, the old-fashioned one, you know, old-fashioned type you used to get on kids' bikes, you know, when we were all growing up. And it has a proper, like, metal spring that comes down. That's arriving on Monday, so that's arriving tomorrow. So what I'm going to do is I'll put that on the bike when I get it. I'll do a little video of that as well, and then I'll you know, show you guys what it looks like. But hopefully it will like last a bit longer than this little plastic one, or this one that actually came with it. It's not, for me, it's not a big problem, because the things that I'm really worried about with this bike are really the battery, the motor, and the electrics. But all those have been fine. The components for this seem, you know, really good. The discs and all that seem solid. the frame, I've had no problems with that. The locking mechanism here, I unfold it every single day when I get home, and I wheel it into my house, and then I fold it up in my house, and I got a little storage area. And this is like, you know, I've had no problems with that. I've had no problems. I don't with the handlebars, I don't take this off a lot. I just leave it in there, and that stops that coming loose. I tightened this up when I first got it. When you first buy one of these bikes, it pays to go round, because they haven't, you know, the factory will do these, but they're not as tight as they should be. So what you want to do is adjust this up on the back so it doesn't slip. And I also went around and I adjusted all these just to check them. They were all these were all kind of well done up, but I just gave them a little bit of a extra tightening, because, you know, you don't want anything, you know, coming loose, especially on the front, if your front wheel coming off. This has been fine. You know, this is really tight here. I've had no problems. You can adjust that quite easily, just, you know, if you want to, if you're when you get it, because when I had it, my one was facing down a bit, but you just move that up. And all the main components with this have lasted really, really well. I'll give you a quick thing about the brakes again, because I did something on Wednesday. You can see, you can hear that probably. I'll get in a bit closer. You can hear, hopefully the microphone will pick that up. You can see how I changed the back ones. It's not springing as much, and that is because of the I put new pads on, and the pads are a little bit too wide, but that's actually getting better now. So in about 2 or 3 weeks, or maybe a month, this will kind of wear right down. 700. What? 700. Yeah, for this. Thanks, guys. Okay. I'm in my local park, and some guys just like, I'm doing the video next to this people walking, so people are like, can see the bike, and it actually gets quite a lot of interest. I pull up at lights, and, you know, even people on motorbikes look at this bike. So but I mean, you should be able to get these for around about 700 or 800 if you get a discount. I think when they first came out, Fiido had a discount on these for about 600, and then I think this bike is about 2 years old now, and I think it's worth about 800 now. So I got a bit of a discount for it. So, but it's still, you know, it's still quite expensive. But when you consider the price of other e-bikes, most of them are over 1,000. So yeah, but going back to just quickly the so all the components that I really, you know, want to make sure work well, like the battery, everything is still working on this fine. And, you know, I use this every single day to get to work, and I ride this bike really, really hard. So you know, I ride it in London, a lot of potholes, on and off the throttle all the time, on and off the brakes all the time. You know, it really does get ridden, you know, pretty tough. And I'll show you one of the other things. You only get 2 keys with this, and I tried to get one of them cut the other day at Mr. Timpson's, or whatever it's called, those little shops you find in my one's in a Sainsbury's, and he wanted to charge, he didn't actually have the key for a start, and then he was going to say, he was saying, I asked him what the price was, and he goes, well, it would be like £9. And I was thinking, £9 for a key, you know. I remember years and years ago, I worked in a key cutting shop when I was a student. We used to charge like two quid for a key, and even that was expensive, because the price of the keys when we were buying them was only about like 20p. So the markup is horrendous. I'll just show you. And it's not a very, if you have a look at this key, right, it's not a very uh, elaborate key. It's just a very, very basic key. You can see on the end, there's nothing special about it. It's like, it's the old style, like motorcycles. Like I used to own a Katana 1100, one of the limited edition ones. And I'm sure that was exactly the same key that, Suzuki were using 20 years ago. And I mean, you wouldn't get a high spec key on a little bike like this, but it pays not to lose it because you only get two of them. And if you do, if you do lose it, you can't, when it's pulled out like this, you can't switch the bike on. So basically, don't lose your key. So what I've done, as you can see, is this is another thing that I had left over. I used to, when the pandemic was on, I was working for a logistics company, and we were checking stock levels in supermarkets and restocking them. And so they gave us these to put on knives. We used to open up boxes and count boxes. And so this is like left over from the logistics job I used to do. And I had it sitting in the drawer, but it works quite well. It's got I put on a double key ring there, just so I don't lose it. And then I always strap that on. So if something did happen, like if it did come out, like it should never come out. It's never come out. But if for some reason it got ripped out when I was riding, or it got caught on something, then, it's gonna like hopefully not get lost. So, so I always put that in, and it just makes it a little bit safer. And then when I have it in my pocket, obviously I can feel it, if I need to check it, because every time I ride this bike and I take the key out, every time I stop it, so when I stop it at work or anywhere else, I'll just take the key out and put it in my pocket. So, and I just want to show you guys, actually, let me see if I can do this here, because this is quite, let me just hold, did I bring my keys? Yeah, just want to show you guys another thing with this lock here. I was going to do a video on how I lock this actually, but just put this here. So this is, if anybody's interested, I can leave this lock, I can leave this a link to this in YouTube. But basically with this lock here, you can see this lock goes right through the solid metal bit here, and then it's perfectly wide enough to go through the actual battery, top of the battery, and lock it in. So when you put this bit on here like that, there's enough room here. Like when you go there, there's enough room for a metal, to put it round one of the bars on a bike lock, the bike locks you get in like all over the place. So if you can put that through like that, and so what happens is you've got your bike locked up and you've got your battery locked up, which is the most expensive thing, because the battery on this is like 600 quid. So because the bikes are 800 pounds. So that's like, that works out perfectly if you buy a lock like that. And the design on that is quite good, because they'd have to basically either cut the lock, which they could do, to get your bike, or the only other thing they could really do is basically try to cut cut your frame here, but then that would wreck the bike, and then lift that up, and then try to do it like that, but then it's still locked here. So I just thought I'd show you that, because this fits perfectly. So whenever I lock the bike up, I always do it like that. So yeah, so that's good. And that is really all that I have for you guys this week. No other problems on this at all. Next weekend is I have like a week off actually, not a bank holiday weekend, I have a week off, so I'm going to do a couple of long rides on this, to, you know, into London and stuff like that. So check out the channel next week and see what I've posted. And I'm also going to do a quick update. If you've looked at any of my videos this week, you'll see I bought like a action camera. Let me show it to you. I've got it here in my pocket. So I'm going to do a video. So I'll put it up here. So I bought this little, get some light on it. This is the Wolfgang GA420, and I've been using it for rides. I showed you guys this in another video, but I'm going to do, I haven't tested the microphone with this. It came with a little wired microphone, so I'm gonna do a quick ride round the local streets, and I'll upload another video as well when I do this one. So if you guys are interested in this light camera, and interested to see how the microphone, the microphone you get with it works, check it out. So yeah, and that's it, folks, and I will catch you next week on a longer ride. And if you've made it to the end of this 16-minute video, thanks for watching, and I hope I hope that you've gotten something out of this. If you're into e-bikes, or you're into riding, or you're into, you know, Fiido L3s, and as usual, it would really help the channel if you would like and subscribe. Thank you, and see you in the next video.